Uh, Hello everyone. Um it's been a long while since we met last time, and you were able to watch our beautiful girls' games with my commentary. But now I'm back, as you can see, the same as usual. Maybe my beard is a little bigger than the previous time, but who cares? So, hi Feralaxion, hi Brian. We are about to start. No, we already started our tournament, our usual tournament with Fatality and Pinkamena, as you like. And so, let's maybe. Oh, Pinkamena is not here today, I guess. She's not online. So yeah, Fatality is the only one playing today, and as you can see, the game already started. It's Chigorian defense. And now Black is trying to create some initiative on the king side, trying to break through White's forces, create some maybe threats. But the development is not there for Black yet, so this may be a huge factor as well. Knights on f3 and d2 are well blocked with the f6 and d5 pawns, so no initial squares to place our pieces for them to create some counterplay maybe. But at least we have the plan of playing rook fc1, then bishop b5, making a pin, and that's what Fatality is going for actually. So yeah, hello Brian. So yeah, Black plays knight g to e7, blocking the dark squared bishop a little bit, but it's more important maybe to defend from the bishop b5 idea. I wonder if bishop d6 was not working because of queen takes d5. Looks like it, so that's why there were just no squares for Black's bishop to go. And yeah, if it goes on e7, Black will not be able to defend the c6 knight with knight g7. But now the development problems become a factor. g4 is played, the exchange. But Black's attack is really fast, I have to say. So yeah, h3 is threatening. We will be forced to defend it with g3 maybe, but we don't like to do it because our bishop on h2 is screwed after this. So seems like Black has an advantage here, despite the questionable development of pieces. Bishop d3 maybe makes Black's attack even faster, because now Black can play something like rook g8, and this will create the initial threat of bishop takes d3, and this wasn't a reality until White offered this exchange. Bishop c2 would be the similar threat as well, if White didn't go for bishop d3, so maybe it doesn't matter. Yeah, I don't really see the way for White to dodge this without having some huge problems due to positioning of pieces. I'm talking about the h2 bishop, firstly. Yeah, so g3 is played, so White had to make this sad decision. But yeah, there are no good moves in bad position, so this was necessary. Bishop e4 is played, so I doubt this move, to be honest. I don't think that this exchange is really good for Black. Of course, Black is having the d5 square, but now maybe we can talk about some counterplay from White. Is it real though? And 95 looks like almost like the obvious move. Obviously a good one. Without even some right here, right now, threats. But just placing our knight in a good position. But maybe black is looking for something more. I think black's attack doesn't have point anymore because black already achieved all the results that were needed to have an advantage. Queen goes to g6. So yeah, black of course is not looking for queen's exchange. Well, black could really exchange queens as well, so it's not like the of course, as I said, but this wasn't maybe such an easy decision for black not to exchange queens, because even in endgame the h2 bishop is just so awful. And black will definitely have a huge advantage still. Now knight takes e3 is a threat. And this is a threat that can really be blundered easily. But yeah, knight b3 defends from it, so a little bit. There is still a possibility to play knight takes e3, but this doesn't lead to material advantage anymore. Black can go for f4, yeah, this is a safe decision. Doesn't have to count anything to do a move like this. Just knight takes f4, or even bishop takes f4. And e3 now can be played, and e3 is just destroying white's defense. Because the g3 pawn is screwed now, yeah, f3 is just desperation. Bishop takes on g3. Maybe there is still some fight going on, but I can't really see a way to defend from something like rook g8. This will just be the end of the way for white. Bishop f2 check is even played, and queen g2 checkmate. This is easier and faster. Oh no, queen g2 can't be played, I'm sorry. Knight on e1 is still our last line of defense. And now actually, maybe white could have taken on d7. Oh wow, this is so beautiful. No, black couldn't take on d7. Yeah, queen g2 is a nice idea. Yeah, and you can see that bishop on h2, if it goes away, then queen g1 is a checkmate, and otherwise, how can you defend from queen g2 check? Maybe queen f1 was the only move, but it's not easy to find, so... Mrazynus Kralsen is playing. So someone is having fun over the world champion and an absolute chess prodigy. Let's see if this guy is punished for this. So c4, yeah, this is like in Russia we call this opening as a pig for white. I'm not sure if it's called the same in English. It's an easy like equality, I think, to play knight g4 than knight e5. But black can maybe look for something more, like a5, for example, or queen e7, bishop a3 is also possible. Some moves like e5 are on the cards as well. e5 will be met with maybe c takes d5, c takes d5, e4, something like this. Yeah, hello guys, hello everyone who's watching us now. Hello Tarantino, hello Sean, Victor, hello to everyone. So queen goes to c2 and yeah, bishop h7. This is a prophylactical move, but this is a prophylactics from e4, I guess. I don't think that this was needed really, but this move is not bad. It's like it can be bad, just so now or later you'll have to make this move, I guess. For example, now knight goes to f1. His next like point is g3, and our bishop will still be attacked on f5. So yeah, now queen b8 I think is relatively obvious. Just to move the queen away from the potential tactical like situation. This pin. C takes d5 and queen b1 maybe, or just the exchange on c7. Actually, now black has control of the center, and I don't really see a huge counterplay from white. This means that we maybe have an advantage. Because there are just too many minor pieces still on the board. And I think rook c1 was not accurate as well. Bishop a3 was better than rook c1. So this choke point on a3 was really important, is the control of this diagonal. d4, so white is going for some tactics. So the plan is to play knight e5 if black plays e4. Interesting. e4 is played. Now knight e5. I'm not sure about the evaluation. Well, white's position is fine, so I think this is an equality. Oh, and then maybe bishop f5 was the only move now, because rook d8 was losing due to bishop takes d7, rook c8 check, and bishop a3. So yeah, at least we're not losing. That's good news. Our next move is definitely a6. So and any move other than knight g3, but knight g3 is played, so we play bishop e6, and a6 is our next move now. Well, I guess white can have a better position here just because the bishop on b2 is just definitely not in the best spot. So at least black will have enough counterplay using that fact. But black maybe can still fight for an advantage here. Or maybe black has an advantage already. So just what's the plan? We have to find some good place for our knight on d7, find some way to use it. Maybe knight b8 and then knight c6 is possible, but we'll have to count bishop takes a6 after this. So maybe we have to find something better. g6 I think is definitely a good move, blocking the knight on g3 and bishop on d3. So g6, I'm sure that this is the first line of the computer. That's my bold guessing. Can we try and look the evaluation? No, we can't, until the game is still going on. Yeah, g6 definitely. And then we'll have an idea of h5, h4 as well, if we need it. Also, the king can like go to g7 at some point, maybe. Maybe f5 will also be possible. Rook d8 is pointless. Black is defending from the e4 move, but is this really a defense? And was this even a threat? Now bishop f8 is looking good, but rook c7 will be possible after this, so maybe. And yeah, these are the problems, so that's why we had to play g6, because when we didn't do it, for example, even knight e7 check maybe can be dangerous, but I think no. King f8, bishop a3, then just king e8, and I don't think that knight c8 will lead to something because of knight f6. So yeah, we're not losing definitely, but now white at least can play bishop a3 and make the bishop like active. Oh, and king h8 is definitely not the right move. We had to play king f8. The king has to go to center in endgames. And it didn't happen in this occasion. I think this is a mistake. Yeah, bishop a3 is right. I think it was even better in the previous move, but it's still fine. Knight goes to f6. And what's white's next decision? h4. This is a mistake, because we at least can play bishop g3 and eat this pawn. And what's even like the idea of this move? Also, yeah, black now has time to play g6. This is a very good move, because now knight on e7 can't feel comfortable anymore, because it can be trapped. This becomes a possibility that black has to like count every move. It will not be easy to win this knight. First we'll have to exchange bishops, but if we play straight like bishop d6, white will just exchange and play knight c8. and we'll miss the opportunity. But surprisingly, black isn't even going for this knight and playing knight g8. This move is bad because knight on e7 was completely useless. So even like knight h5 was better, I think. Creating the bishop g3 threat. This will be enough for like some chances. And white forfeits on time. What what is this game? Okay. Yeah, I'm sure that like knight g8 is a mistake, as well as king h8 was a mistake, definitely. And h4 is a huge mistake for white. But this is an endgame, so everyone misses in the endgame. Especially if we talk about young players. I don't know the age of the guy playing white, but I definitely know the age of Fatality. And she's definitely young, so now she's playing with a little bit of an outsider, 1220 of rating, and she takes Berserk, so taking some risks, playing without the additional time, and also going for this close opening, so that's quite a risk, because it will take a lot of mistakes from white to end this game fast, and that's what black need after taking the Berserk. At least our moves are relatively easy, so our next move I think is h6, not to face the threat of knight g5 after bishop e6, then king h7, then bishop e6, but black decides to play straight f5. I'm not sure if this is actually good. This is not usual, I would say. So the idea looks okay, but a5 even is played. So black, after the a5 move, is weakening the queenside a lot, so black is really gambling that the kingside attack will lead to something, and a4 is a huge mistake. Black even could win a piece without playing h6, but didn't react to white's blunder. So f4 was working one move before, but yeah. This sequence of moves from white is just really awful. Even if black didn't have like this opportunity to win a minor piece, even if white didn't blunder this, then h4 move is still a very bad one, because it's weakening the king side so much, and the pawn on h4 is just has no chance to survive. It's just like walking dead. F takes e3, knight d4, so yeah, now this is nice and easy. Next move is knight e to f5, I guess. Hello, Uno. I'm glad to read this, that you were waiting for me to come back. Yeah, black not only has more mobility, but also has an extra minor piece. And if we evaluate the position, material is always the first, the prime factor. Knight goes to a5, this leads to more exchanges and also leads to white losing the h4 pawn, which is going to be decisive, of course. If it wasn't enough for you, like a minor piece. So yeah, the exchange happens on h4. White will have to exchange. Well, maybe not. Maybe white can play bishop d5 check, but all this doesn't even really matter now, because not only we have the material, we also have the attack, and two bishops on the board. Queen g5, bishop h3, so it will just be snowballing. Black will not like try something like smart, just exchanging pieces. And that's the right play when you have a time trouble. In this game, our time trouble is because of the berserk, so this makes sense. Queen g4, even like exchanging queens, so black is not messing around, just... I doubt this decision, to be honest, because I think it was much easier to win in the middle game than because our attack was strong. Also, black missed an opportunity to take on b2. But yeah, still the position is absolutely one-sided. Nice shirt, thank you. Thank you, Seagull Rock Squawk. This is from the Shaman King anime, if you recognize it. This was the first anime that I ever watched. I was in the second grade in school, I guess, and or maybe even the first grade. And the anime started right when my school ended, so I was always running back home to watch it. It was a surprise for me that it's not really popular in Japan, and also it was a surprise that the author was really not happy with the equalization, with the how the anime is. So the manga ends up differently, and the author was absolutely mad about this. But yeah, this anime also, my friends, a lot of my friends who watched it, and many of my friends watched it because everyone who is 1 or 2 years older than me or younger than me, they had the same issue as me, so they came back from school and watched this, and so they know this anime, and they always say, my friends always say that Ryo Sakura is the main character of Shaman King, is it's almost me. So the closest character to myself. And I thought that this can be true as well, so this was really funny to hear. d5. That's something strange. So black is sacrificing a pawn. I guess the pawn will be easily won back, but this was also played so fast. Is this a theory? Looks interesting, but I don't know. What if we just take on d5 twice and then play d4? Isn't this a little bit dangerous for black? C takes d5, e takes d5, e takes d5. I guess black's plan is to play knight b4, and then we can play d4. Oh, d4, c takes d4, and we can take on d4 because of knight c2 check, so I guess this can be theory, really. Very interesting. I didn't know that. But I'm not playing this sequence of moves, so that's not really a surprise. Oh, and Fatality is really struggling against this opponent, so the count is 5-0 in favor of black. This is much. And yeah, black is just also has a huge rating of 25.55. Fatality's rating is 23.50, so 205 points difference. It's much harder for me to play online than on a real board. Yeah, I have this issue myself. I don't like online chess. Especially this can be there is no classical chess online. Maybe that's mainly because of this, and the only type of chess that I can really play well is classical chess. And also I'm very good at bullet if it's played on the board, but if it's online, I'd not say that I'm awful, but I'm much weaker than I'm even in classical chess. But in bullet, if it's played on the board, I maybe am even stronger than in classical chess, really. So I have fast hands, and I know the timings. So you see, the trick is when you play bullet on the board. Here black has equalized. No, I don't think that black equalized. I think that black even has an advantage here, because the d4 square is weak, and black don't have this kind of weakness themselves. So I would give definitely an advantage to black here. Now knight will go to g8, then e7, f5, then d4. And all these pawns on e5, they may like look a little bit that they are making some danger, but not really. But yeah, giving up the e4 square maybe was a mistake. So knight e4 is a good resource, a very strong one. So maybe Black is going to regret this decision. And look at this. Oh wow, knight g5 is so strong. Oh my god. This is really like absolutely destroying Black's position. So rook f8 is the only move. I missed the moment when it became this bad for Black. Now we definitely take knight takes h7. That's an easy call. Then knight g5, going just back. Just checking if Black... Oh no, and f6, f6, what is this? Knight f7. Knight f7. And we have an extra exchange after this. What is this blunder from Black? Why not rook f8? So Black is really trying to win, I guess. But how can you win? I know that the score is 5-0 and you have 205 more points, but still, Fatality is quite a strong player, and I guess that an extra exchange in an endgame has to be more than enough to win. Knight d4, yeah, this exchange happens. Well, at least Black has some counterplay, so this is not done yet. Oh, and knight b5, I doubt this move, because now the bishops have different color, and this is always is increasing the like drawing chances. Also, the pawn on b5 is hanging a little bit. The pawn on b2 is attacked as well. So white may have some problems with realization. Yeah, knight e8 was bad, but you see, I was saying knight g8, but even after knight g8, knight e4 was looking strong. So I guess the mistake was made a little bit earlier than the knight e8 move. Knight e8 was just a blunder. Vitaly says, блин, время с Fatality просрочило. It was your game, yes. And yeah, this was a weird game, and your position was not worse, if I remember correctly. I think you had an advantage. Happens sometimes, so don't be too disappointed. At least you lost to a beautiful girl. So you see, you always can find something like positive, even in losing. Rook f8 was stronger than rook h1, definitely. But yeah, if we are going for the exchange of rooks, this can... I think the exchange of rooks secures victory for white. But I don't think that black can really dodge it now. Maybe just playing rook g5 and rook h7 check, bishop g7. But this is really playing with fire, to be honest. But maybe black has to take a risk here. King d6 is possible, but yeah, rook f7, what? Rook h7 I think is still fine. Or maybe bishop e8 is also very strong. What about bishop e8 with the idea of rook h7? Just don't have to think so much. Oh, whoa, what is this move? Knight e3 check? Is white really trying to be checkmated here? What is going on? Knight e3 check looks really dangerous. I would definitely go for this move. I don't see like what's next, but that's already scary, I guess. Then rook f5 can be played, then rook f6. So it all comes with like tempos. At least it's a draw. And rook g7 is also possible. Oh my god, and king h6 is definitely not good, so we can be checkmated here. And I will not even play knight takes g3 for black. I think this is a bad move. I think black could have played bishop f6 and the rook g5 checkmate was inevitable. White doesn't understand that you already have to like give up the rook, take on e3. Come on, rook g5 is a checkmate. And black missed the chance. Bishop f6 was winning the game 2 moves before, and now And now this is competitive. Rook g3 is played. Black has an advantage, and I think that black's position is victorious. Yeah, black's position is definitely victorious, but at least now white has a chance. This was not possible if... Oh no, in this exchange... Oh yeah, but black will still win this, so... Why isn't she forcing rook exchange? It was not forcing the rook exchange, because if white plays rook h7, black will play either bishop g7 or knight g7 check. So black was not exchanging rooks, definitely. Well, I will not compare it with sleeping on the ice, but because white's position was not even like having some danger, it was an easy win, and white just found a way to lose it, surprisingly. It's unbelievable. So this was relatively easy to convert, I think. I think knight b5 maybe was the start of all this. Or what was the move that was going on b5? Yeah, knight b5 was played, and this move, like, and king going on g5, this is just something that had not to be done, really. This is sad. Once again, the endgame is Fatality's kryptonite. She has to work on it. That's all I can say. Yeah, I was talking about the bullet. So the trick when you play bullet is like on the board. I'm talking about 1 plus nil, of course. So you're making the move. You are like going for the clock to press the button. Your opponent. So you press the button. It's your opponent's move. He's starting to move his piece. And then when he finishes and he's reaching for the clock, at this moment you make your move. He presses the clock and then you press the clock. And you nearly don't waste any time. And also after this sequence, he has to move his hand back to the pieces, then move once again, and you'll make this trick once again. And you can win so many time doing this. When I was a chess coach, I like used to have fun playing with my students, and my students had a rating of like 1600 FIDE, I guess, and I was winning them with 9 seconds against 3 minutes without an additional time. 9 seconds for the whole game. And the weakest of these students with a rating of 1300, I was winning 3 minutes against 3 seconds. I had 3 seconds for the entire game. And I still won like the match of like 3 games, I guess. I won like 2-1 or maybe even 3-0. I don't remember. So yeah, this is a real trick when you are playing bullet. Do you teach online? I used to. I used to for a long time, and also still on lichess on my page you can like find that I'm a lichess coach. So sometimes some students write to me, but I'm not having like I'm not accepting students for quite a long time. I think for some years, like 3 or 4 years. I used to have some foreign students and some students here in Moscow. Also, I was like coach in a school, not in one school, in different schools. But yeah, now I'm having a real job, I would say, real profession, even 2 jobs. So I don't have time to do this, and also I don't have a desire, I would say, because like you're giving away so much energy when you are teaching someone. I was not only teaching chess, I was also teaching mathematics, physics, like IT, and like chemistry, and what else? I don't remember. Maybe that's it. So I had a lot of like teaching in my life. Once upon a time, I was a student of MIPT. and I was even a teacher in MIPT. I was teaching like the talented like pupils, mathematics and physics. I was taking the exams, so yeah, I have a lot of experience in working with children. But yeah, I can't like I take my work, my job, I take it very seriously, and when you take teaching seriously, you really start to struggle after some years because, and I was teaching for like 8 years, I guess, and so I wasted a lot of energy, and at some point I thought that this is just exhausting me. So after every day, I just can't do anything. So I'm coming back from work, and I'm just useless until like the weekend. And so, oh, thank you so much, man. I appreciate it. Nice to hear it. Thank you so much. You see, it's funny thing that today I was called by a student, a mother of one of my students, that I used to like teach him chess. I think 5 years ago. She called me and she said that after like we stopped studying anymore, he was really interested in chess that time, but I found myself lacking time, and they said that after like we stopped our trainings, he just stopped being interested in chess. And you see, it's sad to hear this, I would say, but on the other side, this maybe this was important to me because this means that I'm doing my job good, and so like poor guy didn't even want to study chess anymore. So this is sad, but also I really appreciate this because I was trying hard, really. They offered me like to teach him again a little bit, and I didn't say no, I would say. So maybe I'll try if I have time. Why not? Yeah, and Fatality is really struggling in this game. G3 is winning, I think. Sad to say this, but knight on e2 will be attacked after g3, and there will be no defense. Maybe bishop f3 is a try, but no, queen takes h4 check will end it. Queen takes d4, but queen takes h4 check is just a checkmate. That's sad. Maybe Fatality will try her revenge, so it's an arena tournament, so it doesn't really matter how much games you lose. At least it's quite fast, so the opponent had 1 minute left. So that's 1 minute more time to make some points. Hello Armand, how are you doing? I'm Marat Gilfan. Hello Marat. Once again, Marat is a very strong chess player, so I'll not say that he's one of my students, but if you remember, like in the previous stream, I think I was streaming from the chess camp, and this guy, this man, he's 12 years old, I think, or 11 even, but he's so strong. And when we played, and we played on the board, not online, I was really struggling, I would say. So the guy is very strong. And he already, oh, you can see him in the CFN channel. So he plays in this tournament. I have seen some videos with him. So this kid is very talented. So remember the name. Saludos, Enrique. Knight h4, bishop e6. And so What is this position? Hard to evaluate it, but Fatality took a berserk, and this is a huge factor here. She's going for an exchange of bishop h3. I think that before is just a little bit of a mistake. I think that rook e1 had to be played. So black had to avoid... White had to avoid this exchange of bishops. I'm sorry. I'll take a little break, sorry. Алло? Я прошу прощения, у меня просто, я стримлю, я пока не могу ответить. Не, я можно через там полчаса, час? Через 48 минут. Спасибо. Не забуду. Да, все хорошо. I'm sorry, guys. I have some issues in my house, so had to solve it. Why in the stream there is 3+2 and in the tournament it's 5+3? I don't know really. Let's wait for the president to answer this question. In India, Russian physics textbook by E. Irodov is very popular. I think I know this one. Yeah. Good to hear it. So this makes me proud of my country. Also, there can be like so many good things can be said about India nowadays. So if we talk about chess, like India produces a lot of chess talents, and the Indian scene becomes really competitive. So when you are like coming in Europe to play tournaments, the main threat is the Indian like kids or just young players. They are incredibly strong, incredibly prepared, and this is really good. And also India, I think, if we not only talk about chess, India makes a really huge progress. So in many occasions in science as well. So I'm really impressed. I would say that I'm impressed with Asian countries in general. So Japan, China, India. So I think that the future will be all about the Asia, really. But yeah, that's politics. I don't think that I have to talk about this. President is joking in chat. Well, now Fatality has a good advantage, and also she played really fast, and so she saved a lot of time. I think now White is forced to play Queen takes a2, but decides not to do it, and I think that this is a mistake because now Queen d5 will be played. And I guess that's... No, it's not over. Queen e4 is possible. Somehow... Oh, I can't believe it. Somehow Black is not winning this. So this position is very difficult, and Rook e8 is not really a good move because of King f3. So Rook c1 is even played, c5. Now King f3 will be played. Rook c1 is not a good move as well, because Rook was staying really nice on b1, and Rook takes e4 is a mistake, but Black is having some trouble, so... Of course, if Black want to play for win, they can't afford to... She can't afford to exchange this much. At least now she will draw, because... no, she has to give some checks. I don't know, is she playing for a win? She has to check. Because White is having an additional 2 seconds for every move, and Black hasn't. So White has to just go for a draw. Oh, and White is impolite, so wants to win this, but I don't think that this is real. Yeah, so it's a draw. Do you watch anime? Yes, I do. I like anime a lot. I don't watch it too much, I would say. I didn't even like watch some very like the titles then that everyone has to watch. So I didn't watch the Attack of Titans, or how is it called in English? I didn't even watch this, for example. But Steins Gate I didn't watch, and many some very important animes. But somehow I watched a lot of titles still, around, I don't know, 60, 70 maybe. I like the romantics. If we talk about like the genres. Oh, Queen b3 check is blundered, but I don't think that the pawn on b7 makes a huge difference really, because after f4 we'll have a decent attack. Yeah, so. And yeah, now I have 2 jobs, so I don't really have time to watch anime as much as I would like. Queen c2, e4. Now then will be d5, then f4. D5, g5, then f4. And the attack is very strong. And white doesn't have a decent counterplay for this, I guess. It's just not fast enough. Yeah, b4, all this is good, but it's not fast enough. So black will be faster, and even knight e2 is not working now because of f4. Then the exchange on f4 will happen, and after knight takes a4, bishop takes d4 is possible. Knight h3. Yeah, I guess we can play f4. Queen d6 is played. This is nice move as well. This is even better, I think, because now the pawn on b4 is attacked. c5 is just a suicide here. Oh, and f4 is played. f4 is bad, yeah, because of e takes f3 check, and then g4 will be a fork. That's why white didn't take the pawn. Queen g6 is played. This move is not looking really impressive, I would say. Oh, and now knight g1 is such a weird move. Now g4 is played, and the knight will never go away from g1. So now black is essentially has an extra piece, an extra minor piece. So yeah, and this will be till the end of the game. So black is even like fine here with like exchanging queens and whatever. So we're just having an extra minor piece, and that's it. That's so funny. That's like the strategical humiliation, I would say. Now a5 will be played, I think. Yeah, now, you see, I'm so scared to say this when I'm talking about Fatality's game, but I think that this one is unlosable, definitely. So she will win it for sure. Even with like Berserk and 43 seconds, it is more than enough, much more than enough to win this game. d5 is played, and this is even worse. Because rook c7, all this is not working. Rook f4 is even worse. I think that white at least wants to play rook c7, but no. You see now rook is trapped as well. So the knight on g1 doesn't have moves, and the rook doesn't have moves as well. Oh my god. Rook takes c5 is not cruel enough. I think I would go for b5 here. But yeah, this is still unlosable. So king f7. Yeah, now then we can do whatever we like, really. So the knight on g1 is not a piece anymore. Bishop f8, I think, is the simplest decision. She may not find it, I guess. It's not so obvious, maybe. d4 is also working nice. d4 is easier maybe than bishop f8. It's easier to find. Yeah, and white even resigned, so couldn't survive this amount of humiliation in one game. Rook e4 would have been cool. Did we have time to do this though? Yeah, rook e4, rook e4. Rook e4 will be like so cruel, really. Bishop e5 was winning an exchange, so yeah, we had a lot of ways to win this game, really. So yeah, now Fatality is playing against a decent opponent, 2282, the rating. Knight f3, d4, so that's classical Fatality opening. And that's the classical variation of King's Indian. So let's see what kind of tricks Fatality has up her sleeve. Thank you so much, маньяк по контракту. I'd like to think that you are right, but yeah, I just forget some easy words too much for me to say that my English is good, sadly. See, when I had everyday practice, when I had like many students, many foreign students, that then at these times like my English was decent, I would say, but now I really doubt it. Knight c6 is really baiting white to play knight d5. Knight d5 looks good. Are we winning a pawn? So is it possible for black to play knight takes d5, c takes d5, and knight d4? Yeah, it is possible, so maybe it still is okay for black. I'm starting to doubt that this was worthless, really, for white. This was like worth doing it, I meant. Knight d4. We can maybe go for bishop e3, I guess. I really doubt taking on d4, because black's pieces now are just too active for the comfort. But yeah, but f3 is a good move. Now we'll play bishop h4, then bishop f2. But will we have time for this? That's the question, because f5 is played now. Bishop d3 is passive, but I guess that we didn't have a choice here. Thank you, man. Thank you. I'll try my best to make my English even better. So yeah, queen b3. Queen b3. Now d6 check is like starting to be a threat. I guess d6 check is very good now, because then we can follow it up with bishop e7 and bishop c4, and we'll win an exchange, I guess. Oh, I missed bishop e6, but bishop e6 is not working, so that means that I didn't miss it. I was just too smart not to count it. So as you can see, tactics is not like something I'm good at. Oh, and queen f7 is played, but this is still not enough. Oh, and bishop e7 can be played. Oh, d7 is even stronger. Let's go d7. I think d7 is very nice. Not only we will win an exchange, but also we'll take the pawn on c7 first. Or will we? I'm not sure. Because there will be the bishop f6 move. Maybe yeah, we'll take on d8 first. And yeah, black resigns. Maybe rook d8 was not accurate. I think that black had to play rook a8, and if white plays rook takes c7, then we could have played bishop f6. And if the exchange on f6 happens, rook c8 is not leading to a victory because of rook f8. Or is it though? There will be a rook f to c1 move. And yeah, I think we're winning still. We'll take on a8 then and play rook c8, yeah? So white was winning and winning with relative ease. So yeah, now it's a Caro-Kann defense. 33 and 33 left till the tournament ends. G6. Black is developing pieces. I guess that this is serious still. But wasn't knight before working? Like last two moves. На каком языке? Queen d2. Yeah, I guess knight before was working. I think that white had to play c3 at some point. Didn't do it. And maybe black could punish. Oh, I'm sorry. So what are our possibilities? We can play bishop f5 maybe. With a weird idea of exchanging and then knight e4. Trying to like go for some fast and weird plays. Yeah, knight before was strong. Rook e8. A little bit slow, but we are preparing e5. So it's nice. Oh, and we can play e5, yeah, and e5 looks good for me. But maybe we can take our time and play something like bishop d7 first, because there is no like instant good moves for white. Maybe bishop f4 is a good move though. So maybe e5 is essential. Bishop f5 still makes sense, but I think that rook e8 doesn't really stack much with this move, so we have to play e5, I guess. Fatality is thinking too much. That's a mistake. I don't think that this is really a huge decision right here. So this is not a key position. So we may play a little bit faster. But I'm not the one to say this kind of things because time trouble is like the thing I really struggle with. Knight a3 was also possible, yeah. That's a development. Oh, and knight a3 was actually strong because now knight goes to c2 and the e5 move is not looking as good as it was looking a couple of moves ago, because knight from c2 can rotate to d4. Knight c2, what is white thinking about? Bishop f4 first. Yeah, I'm sorry. Queen c8. Bishop f4 I think was the odd move, because after knight c2, black now can play bishop f5, and this wasn't possible before bishop f4. Now b5 is played. Knight c2, and now it's time to play bishop f5. Yeah, let's go. This exchange favors black, definitely, because the e4 square becomes a little bit weaker. Also, now we don't have to consider the changing of pawn structure, because we always can take with our queen on f5. Yeah, so the exchange happens. Now I guess we can even play b6, maybe, and then knight e4. Why not? Yeah, I think a6 is nice. It's looking a little bit like not beautiful, but who cares? So it's a Carlsbad pawn structure with like a weird bishop on g7. But on the other hand, black was fast with the minority pawn attack plan, so it's already finished. And also many minor pieces are already exchanged, so if we play b4, then c4 is not as strong as it usually is. as a counter reaction for the pawn minority attack. G5. G5 is like white are maybe getting ready for something like G4, King G2, Rook H1, Knight D2, Queen H3, but even this leads to almost nothing really. B4 is played. Rook B1. Oh, Queen B5 is possible. Queen B5 is very strong. Nice. Well, good job, Fatality. 30 seconds though. She has to play faster now. Rook A7 or Rook C8. Queen C4 is playing with fire. But maybe it's good. Oh, actually it's good. There is no tactics here, so Knight D2 isn't working. That means that Queen C4 is a strong move because the pawn on A2 is hanging. And white have to create some way to defend it. Rook A1 is not the move you'd like to make, really. Yeah, very strong move from Fatality. That's impressive. Yeah, I don't think that there is some tactics. It looks like the position looks like it's possible, but if I count, I don't see anything. I don't know what white's move is. A3 is bad. I think that even Rook A1 was stronger, really. Because now we can take. Oh no! What is A5? Why? Why not bishop take? Why not B takes A3? Knight D2. No. Black is losing the like essence of position. It's still good. Our plan still worked, but now I'm a little bit scared for Fatality, really. Bishop F8 can be played, but do we really want this exchange? That's the question. Well, now our pieces are standing in good places, so Knight C2 is a threat, so now I'm a little bit more like calm for this. Knight C2, let's go. That was a blunder from white. Now we have to win it relatively easily. Also, Fatality has a good history against this opponent. 5.5 against a half. Queen D3, Rook D1, Queen E4 is possible. Now Queen C2 instead. Rook D2, Queen E4. Now it's even stronger than in the previous move. Nice, let's go. Rook E2. Where do we go now? Queen D3 back, Bishop E7, Rook E8, Bishop F6 will be played now. Queen F5 is good. No, Queen C4 is. I doubt this. Knight E5 now with a tempo can be played. No, white decided to exchange first. This was not a good decision, definitely. Now we have one more extra pawn and one exchanged piece. Well, one more exchanged piece. Queen F4 and Rook C1 is blundered by white. No, Rook C1, come on. D4, no! No! She doesn't see it. But yeah, she has time trouble, so... No, and white is just blundering everything, so... White is really, like, scared of Fatality, and so... It doesn't really mean how much she blunders. He'll blunder more. Queen just can take on F5. And Queen F3, oh, Fatality is going for some cruel plays. She doesn't want your pawns. Queen takes F6, let's go. Oh, D2, E2, yeah. So finally, it's a good result. So Fatality is having some close games, but she's winning it, so she'll take it, and we'll take it. And now this opponent is strong, so 2375 the rating. D4, D5, Knight F3, Knight F6, Queen's pawn opening, or how is it called? I don't even know. I play this kind of like setups for white pretty much, but I just usually play it with the bishop on g5, not f4. So guys, make some activity, you may ask, everything you desire. Don't make me fall asleep, please. I need your help. Queen b6, now queen b3 is the theory, I guess, or maybe not. Queen b3 will be met with c4. How did this happen? How do black have an extra tempo? No, there is a theory as well. I remind this variation. I can remember watching this, like studying these positions, but I didn't think that black can force this variation. Bishop e7. Knight e5 can be played. So what is that play for white? You see, queen on c1 is this is at least questionable, I would say. I think she had to play knight e5 to make one exchange. Then the knight from d2 goes to f3, maybe. Well, I'm not sure. White's position is weird. It looks like black has an advantage, but can this be real? Because I am almost sure that this is a series, so this position has to be equal. But I don't see how. From my perspective, black has an advantage, so we made something wrong at some point. Weird. Well, at least there is no talking about white's advantage anymore, that's for sure. So at least black like have an equal position like easily. And so maybe I am wrong about the fact that this is a theory. Maybe I don't think that this can be real. Do you think e4, c5, knight e3, a6, b3 is good for white? You see, I'm not playing e4 with my first move, and I did play Sicilian once in my career, like for some period when I was very, very young and weak. But I didn't play e6 as well. I just have like some sort of a general knowledge that b3 is like b3. What I can say, b3 is a theory. That's a fact. So b3 at least is decent. Also, like b3 is played by many grandmasters, and white have a good percentage in this variation. So I don't think that you really can have an advantage in any opening, but at least white is close to having an advantage. It's putting like many problems for black. And also this is very logical to play b3 after e6, because e6 weakens dark squares, and we straight use it by playing b3 and bishop b2. So this is very logical like development of pieces. And also I think that this is strong. If I was white and I needed to like figure out what variation I like to play in this occasion, I think I will go for b3 first. So I'll watch b3, and if I find something interesting, I'll stick with it. So I think I answered your question. Bishop e5. f6 is winning, I think. Bishop h2. The pawn on c3 is hanging. It's not looking good. So yeah, we lost a pawn, and this pawn was really important, really. Give me 1 second, please, guys. Mm, so what happened, guys? Please give me 1 minute. I'm begging you. I just need to do something real fast. Mm. So let's go. H4, 9 seconds. Yeah, 2 bishops and an extra pawn. This is really much, to be honest, to handle. So 1 extra minute, and despite having 2 seconds of additional time, I guess this is unwinnable for white. So maybe if I was playing arena tournament, I'll just resign in this position, just not to waste time. Because it's 17 minutes left, it's not much. The bishop on h2 is also really screwed, so queen b4, knight d2. I lost so many games, but I'm still 11th now. Yeah, we'll see. Rankings sometimes they work really weird, so maybe some players are like just pause the tournament or stop playing, just go away in tilt. I don't know. F4. F4 is a good move. At least there is some chance now. So somehow white managed to find a counterplay, so good job, Fatality. That's nice. Bishop d3, queen a6 check now. Let's go. You can do it. Queen a6 check. Come on. Knight f3 is the next move. Let's go. Now she has time to think about it, so she can find it. No. Rook f3. Well, it's nice as well. Maybe it's even better. No, knight f3 was winning for sure. Well, not for sure. It was winning 2 pawns. But now white is going for a checkmate. And knight f3 is still possible. No. She had to play knight f3 first. Oh, and bishop e5 is blundered. Now we win the game. Wow. I didn't see that coming, really. Black made everything to lose this game, and Fatality just used her chance to do it. So rook c1 is possible. No, bishop g6, king g1. Yeah, of course it will still be a nervous endgame, because despite having a huge material advantage, black still like have 2 bishops. Guys, I'm sorry. My friend connected to stream and he's joking so hard. Yeah, I'll try to keep it serious. Sorry. 95. Oh, 95 is strong. So black can take on a5 because the rook on d8 is hanging, and now rook takes d3 can be played. Oh, rook f1. Yeah. So Fatality is trying to play as safe as possible, but now d2 is possible. So maybe she like. Oh no. No, is she about to lose it? Did I say that this is unlosable? I think I did. Oh, and black forfeits on time. This is a lucky ending to this. Fatality had a queen against a bishop. I know that she had the time trouble, but come on. Everything has its limits. You just can't lose games like this. This was lucky, at least. Hello, Fatality, CFN, and everyone. Hello, Pietro. Hello, Pietro. Fatality is 12th place now. And we have 13 minutes left till the tournament ends. And she takes a berserk. She already won against this opponent in this tournament, so now she's trying to repeat it with a different color of pieces, I guess. Yeah, in previous game... No, in previous game she was playing black as well. This was the game when the knight on g1 was trapped and the rook on f4 was trapped as well. So I guess white made some changes in their opening strategy. I don't exactly remember what the opening was. b6 is an odd move here. Queen will be a much better piece to stand on b6. Queen b3, rook c8. Knight e4 is possible. And also knight e4 creates problems for white. I would say that white's setup doesn't make much sense to me, really. What's the idea behind this? So white is just developing pieces, but I don't see some fighting for an advantage in this. The exchange on c6 happens, and now black still can maybe go for knight e4 if she desires, but she plays queen d7, and this is stronger. I don't think that black really want to exchange white squared bishops here, so bishop h3 will be a mistake. Oh no, what is ac? If e6? Bishop takes f6 was a threat, but well, maybe e6 is fine. Oh, and actually we have a very strong threat here. Bishop c2 and bishop f8 next, but I think it's better to prepare it somehow. Maybe to play a5 first, then bishop c2 and then bishop f8, and we'll trap the queen. You see, when we are having berserk, we have to try any chance, and this is one of these chances. Oh, and black is even asking, white is even asking black to do it. So playing queen a3. Oh, and now bishop c2 can be played. b3, but yeah, at least white is not losing material yet. But this is already some playing with fire. b3 is almost the only move here. And if I was Fatality, I would play knight e4 after b3. Oh, and queen b5 was also possible. I missed it. Knight e4 is still good, I think. But not good enough to have an advantage, really. Knight g4 is played. That's more ambitious and more complicated. So no, bishop f4. What else can white like think of? I don't see other. What is this? No, this exchange definitely favors black. So two bishops is not a joke. It's a real advantage now. So now it starts to look promising for black. Bishop c5 is not ambitious, and yeah, black had to just move the bishop away, or no, this position was a little bit more difficult than I initially thought. But I still thought that bishop c5 maybe is not perfect. Queen c7, rook b8 is planned. 30 seconds. This is not much. Uh, 5 seconds for white. 2 seconds. 1 second. What is it? White forfeits on time? But why? The position was fine, and black had only 29 seconds. Fatality is a little bit more lucky today than usual. So she won an important time for this. Now she's playing white, playing against Coldzera, 1995. See, now I'm working in CSGO industry, and so Coldzera is not just a nickname for me. And I always smile when I see this nickname, because this is like the most essential highlight in the CSGO history belongs to this guy. B5, oh, B5 is... I used to play this kind of move. Uh, 95. Is this some sort of a theory? I don't catch it. I think yes. I think that C4 is being played in this kind of positions. Or C3, yeah, this is just similar. And then we'll play C4 and knight C3. I don't think that I used to play B5 in this exact variation. I think I played it against the Catalan. So knight F3, knight F6, G3, B5. Yeah, in this position B5 is a possibility as well. I think that Boris Spassky used to make this move. If I'm right. I forgot many things about chess. Yeah, C5. Maybe that's... Maybe we had to play C4 ourselves before black did it. Black will have problems with developing pieces, really, because knight d7 is impossible because of knight c6. Well, it's possible, but it's bad. Bishop b7 will be met with rook b1, and queen c7, I guess, will be met with knight d to f3, with the idea of bishop f4. And if black decides to play knight c6, we can just exchange, go knight e5, then bishop f4. And this is looking, this is like, you can feel this harmony in these moves for white. We can take now, I think. Bishop f4 is fine as well, but I'll take definitely. Just to play a little bit more forced. Because yeah, that's what happens. So if we exchanged and played knight e5 and bishop f4, now we would have the c4 move maybe. And now we don't have it. Or maybe we still have it. We can play c4, I guess. But we have to count a lot. I think we just have to play c4. No, the exchange happens and knight e5. So yeah, she decides to go for this reduction that I was initially talking about. And what now? I'm asked my lichess nickname. It's H1KK1. Hello everyone. Hello, Phantom of the Opera. This is a reference, I guess. Queen d3. Rook c1, bishop a6. Yeah, now black managed to make all this work. Bishop on a6 was a very bad piece at some point, and now I think it's the best piece for black. So the problems are definitely solved. And black is even going for an advantage. Knight h5 is really looking strong. Maybe we can play e3, but I'm already not sure. Yeah, e3. e3 is nice, I think. But yeah, I will favor black in this position already. What's our plan now? I think it will be nice for us to exchange the white squared bishops. This will help, definitely. But I don't think that if black plays correctly, we will have time for this. I think black has to play something like maybe exchange on e5, then play f6, force the issue, using the fact that black's bishop is a little bit like more on spot than white's one. Rook b1. Yeah, now this opportunity is wasted. Rook b8 I think is a mistake. I was also thinking about f6 with the idea of maybe playing g5 at some point, but I think that taking on e5 was a little bit better. I think that black still can take on b1, then take on e5, then play f6. I think this is working, but it doesn't lead to like too big of an advantage. But at least it's something. And now if black is not careful, for example, now white can exchange, then play rook bishop f1, or play bishop f1 first. It's even better. And I maybe this even starts to turn in favor of white a little bit. I just think that king takes f1 is a mistake, but white had to take with the queen to have the idea of exchanging on b5, on b8, and playing queen b5, or playing rook b5. The king on f1 is also staying under the check. Now white have to play king g2, has to play, not to blunder the exchange and queen c4 check and queen takes a4. So king g2 is necessary now. Or exchange on b8, it's nice as well. King d2 is played, so yeah, this is some tactical approach. But it's not working. Queen b1 check now can be played. And if white goes king g2, then queen b4. White offers a draw, and the draw is accepted. Yeah, this position is a draw. Even if, for example, black play queen b1 check, king g2, queen b4, then white will respond with queen c2. And yeah, the pawn on a4 is defended, and it's hard to create some plan for both sides. No one has an advantage. And yeah, this game is drawn, and the score between these two players was 1-1. Now it's 1.5 to 1.5, so they are like have almost the same strength. I think that Fatality had an advantage at the start of this game. I'm pretty sure about this. But then, at some point, I guess black had an advantage as well. When the bishop was standing on a6. I think that black just missed this moment to exchange and play f6. So yeah, now c5, e5, d6, some real strategical approach from black. d4. This still has some king's Indian vibes. Knight f6, d5. Oh, and I'm not sure about this. I catch the idea. Black want to put the knight on d6. Sometimes this can be working, but I'm not sure that this is the occasion, because we only have one knight, and when we put it on d6, it will be exchanged by something like knight e4. And this pawn on d5, this really gives white an advantage. b3 is played. To be honest, I'll be maybe looking towards something like f4 more than b3. But I'm not sure that this is correct. Exactly. Maybe knight e4 was possible. No, knight e4 is slow because after the exchange on f5 and e4, black will have an initiative. So white have to like leave black's knight on f6 to stop black from like snowballing this initiative by playing f5, e4. h6 is played. So yeah, black is like prophylactically defending the pawn. h3 is played, that's a nice move. Maybe black could have thought about something like bishop g4, h5, g6, but now this opportunity is gone. And also there is a window for the king in terms of like the first rank tactics. Bishop f5. White is going for this exchange. This makes sense. Very interesting. Knight f4 is also, I catch the idea, but I still think that white has a decent advantage. And I doubt the king h2 move. Maybe black can now think of some counterplay like e4. Wasn't e4 working really in this position? I think it was. Maybe it was. Knight e4, or maybe it was just a bait. I didn't have time to count it really. Knight e4. Now I think we can play f5. Yeah, I like this move. Even if it's not working, I think I will go for the same approach. Queen c3 and rook b2 e8. Yeah, I think that at least all our pieces are in good places. We are ready to rock, I would say. Now we have to... Oh, actually, it's quite difficult to defend on e5, but white can't really take on e5 because of knight g6. So I think we can safely play something like rook f7 maybe. Black plays knight g6 and I don't like this move. I think that this is not good. White will just play king g1 now. g3, I don't like g3 either because of f4. g3 is a very bad move. This change of structure is not favoring white at all. If white plays g4 now, and I think this was the initial idea, then black can play something like queen f6, queen h4, then f3 and knight f4. And this idea looks very dangerous. f3 and rook f4 is also possible, and rook e4 is even more strange because white is like willing to take with the piece, not with the pawn on g3. Now rook f4 is possible, and suddenly black's position is much better, I guess. I would definitely favor black here. Rook f4 I think is an important move here. I'll play rook f4 and then I'll take with the knight. Or maybe with a pawn. It's something to think about. No, with a knight I think. Knight f4 is good, has to be good as well. Oh, it's even better. Queen g6 is threatening now. And how to defend against this? Wow, knight f4 maybe is winning. Queen f3 is not working. At least there is a knight takes h3 move here. And I'm sure that we can find something even better than this. Rook e1 and queen g6 check. Isn't this a checkmate? Now we just have to think. Just don't rush it. I think queen h5 maybe win. No, queen h5 is not winning, but queen g2 and knight takes d5. That's the safest. Oh, knight takes d5 even without queen g2 is good enough. And white resigns, and that means that the tournament is over, and we can watch the results of the tournament 1 hour ago. Started, and the results of this tournament: the first place is AAK 203. Cold Zero is on the 6th place, and Fatality is on the 9th place. So quite a decent tournament from Fatality, I would say. She was close to, for example, she's only 10 points behind the 3rd place, and 2 points behind the 6th place, and 4 points behind the 5th place. So quite a decent tournament. So thank you guys for your attention. I think we are finished today. See you next week. See you on Monday as usual. Now I'll not be absent as I was the previous month or so, 3 weeks I guess. So keep in touch and see you next Monday. Bye.